Hey, Amari, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Tell me about Friday's big score as a team. What was working for everybody on Friday?
I think we just all connected. We had a good meet and we finally put it all together. So now we just get to take the next steps forward to keep progressing and just to keep moving forward.
Watching you, you're so powerful. Is that kind of your what you try to master is harnessing that power and kind of controlling it?
Yes, so the main thing that I need to do is to just like slow down and just trying to harness all that power so then I can control everything a little more. But I would definitely say the power is one of my advantages.
Okay, and then Amari, with you being front and center, I have another one for you. You've had a great season so far. What can you say about your hard work? How does it both mentally and physically, prepare you for Oklahoma this weekend?
So I think like all the hard work that gets put in just adds like a little bit of a confidence boost, so then I can just like calm myself down, because I've said like I get a little anxious and like the energy comes out for sure when it comes to when I compete. So just harnessing all that, giving me a little more of a confidence boost, just really shows that the hard work is paying off.
This is for anyone. So, just coming off of Auburn, what are kind of your guys' thoughts leading into Oklahoma, especially on the road?
I would say that we're really just trying, as Mar said, to build momentum. I think this meet was really great for that. We've had a lot of conversations just as a team as to what we can improve on and how we can build off of our performance on Friday. So we're really just working in the gym just to be intentional and to do what Tigers do best and just be confident when we go out there and play gymnastics this Friday.
For all three of y'all, this is pretty familiar territory. Now, I think this will be the 7th straight meet that LSU and Oklahoma are 1 and 2 in the national rankings or the seedings going into a meet. What does it mean to face them? I know this is not the be-all, end-all. Neither was the meet in Utah in January. But what does it mean for the season to try to do well in this meet or to win?
I would say it's just another week. It doesn't matter who's on the floor with us. It's just LSU going to compete, and we train every single week, not going to train harder or less for whoever's on the floor with us. It's just going to be our normal every single day. So just excited for another week of competition.
Yeah, and adding on to that, I think that this meet's going to be huge just for the sport. I mean, you don't get to see 1 and 2 out on the floor very often, so we're going to do the best that we can to just be us and to use this as momentum for postseason and further meets leading out of it. And really, we're just excited, I think, to be able to go out there and to compete against Oklahoma.
So we'll go for all of you guys if you don't mind. Do you take anything from watching like the LSU women play South Carolina this past weekend and kind of see that big matchup and the way they utilize that energy and like how you guys can kind of funnel it in the right direction as well? We'll start and just work our way down.
I would say it's really just allowing your arena to build you up. I mean, we're going into enemy territory, you could say, but we're still going to be able to use that energy even if it's not necessarily for us to push us to be our best on Friday. So I would say that's something that I saw during the matchup this weekend.
I would also say like that just shows like the fight and the hard work that they also put in. Like they were two very competitive teams, like you could see, and they fought really hard, and that's exactly what we're gonna do when we go out there and compete like we always do.
It was amazing to see. I think it was fun to be one of the competitors Friday night and then go watch Saturday, and it was packed. Like I've never been in the arena where it's that packed, especially as like a watcher, I guess. So that was really fun to go see all of that and see the energy that the fans pour in when you're not really like locked into your sport. So I think as an athlete competing, it's really important to use that energy no matter if it's for your team or not. So like everyone's been saying, like we're just going to go in and use whatever energy we get and just take it and run with it.
Mar, you talked about just, kind of the competition that was, I guess, and doing it the right way. How much of that started the week prior, right, with those practices? Like, I know Jay's talked about it a little bit, about challenging yourselves really to kind of be where you need to be at the right point in time. And I'd just kind of like to get your thoughts. Do you feel like you did that right during the week, or was it just the performance that night?
I think leading up to it, we really honed in on that and just focusing on what we need to do every single day when we go out in the gym, and that will mirror into what we do in the competition. So week leading up to it, that's exactly what we did, and that definitely showed this past Friday.
I mean, I would say the same thing. I think it's been like every week we go in, we have a Monday, Sunday meeting, and we always talk about what we did well, what we can do better. And so intention has been one of the big things that we focused on this year, because we know the talent's there, we know the hard work's there. It's just about making sure every turn counts and that it's of quality and that it's something that's going to propel us to be good on Fridays.
All right, you guys mentioned, or Ashley, you mentioned intention, something you kind of focused on. Is there anything else, like in particular, that you think the team is doing really well with right now?
I think we're doing a good job of being there for each other. I think the support system that we've built has been something that everybody can really lean on. All the people that are in lineup know what they need, and all the people that are on the sidelines or that are only in one or two events know how to help those that are like either an all-around or who are doing other things. So we've done a really good job of just seeing to the needs of everybody on the team. And I think that's something really special that took a lot of effort in the fall to get to this point. And it's been really cool to see how our competitors can thrive and how we as a team can grow because of that support that we have.
If you guys have thoughts on it, I'd like to know, but you've been with her the longest. I guess just, are you seeing any similarities between Kaylin and Haley in the way they approach their gymnastics?
It's funny, I was actually talking about this the other day. I think like training in the gym is really cool just to see both of them. I mean, it becomes so normal for us to just expect it because they're both very consistent just in the gym and outside in competition. So I guess you could say that they're very consistent. Kaylin, though, I mean, she is 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the same thing. Like, you can always expect her to do her thing. Not everybody is perfect, but she's so cool, and just the way that her process never deviates. She's always just there, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically. She's always in the same place for most of the times.
You got it.
Amari, what is your favorite event and why?
My favorite event is, I would say floor, because I get to showcase a little more of my personality on floor, and like the big tumbling, all of that stuff. Like, I really love floor. Like, that's my favorite event.
Is it also tied in with the home crowd and the big finish and kind of some of the dances involved in music as well?
I would say that was an addition to it, but I've always loved floor. Like, growing up, like, that's always been my favorite event. So the coming out in the PMAC or like wherever I am and like the dance and all of that stuff was just like another addition.
Kylie, what would you say is the level of respect or relationship we all have with the Gymnastics Oklahoma? I think there's one gymnast from on their roster who went to your gym. Pawlak?
Yes.
He's a freshman and you're older, but what is that? What do you think that relationship or respect is like between these two programs?
I think everyone has friends along every team in college. Like, we're all so close. Like, gymnastics world is very small, so everyone knows everybody. I mean, that doesn't change how we compete, knowing them or not. I think it is nice to see our friends and like go over there and go to Oklahoma and compete and then get to say hello after. It's just a little bit of a bonus, but I don't think that really changes our focus or like how we go and compete against them.
Kylie, we'll just stay with you, I guess. What is something that you have seen Kaylin kind of change or evolve, from just year 1 to year 2 now?
I think I've seen her grow and embrace how talented she is. I think in the beginning she was so good, and she still is, but I think she's really embraced everything that she is. Like, she goes in and just does not have like a doubt in her mind, and she relies on us, she relies on herself, and like she looks like she's having more fun with the team this year. She looks like she enjoys every second. She's in every routine before she goes, which is so impressive and so mature to watch as a junior. And it's just really exciting, and I'm really impressed and excited to see how much she's going to grow this year and the next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Opening statement. Good meet Friday night. On to the next one. There you go. Some beads. I didn't throw any beads. Oh, yeah. Happy Mardi Gras, everybody.
Big score Friday. What went right, and how do you look to carry it over as you go on the road this week?
A lot went right. Obviously, I just think our performance was, as I said, Friday night was the most complete that we've had, and it was a good time to do it. This is the right time of year where you want to, if you have to have a kind of a turning point. It's only a turning point, though, if we continue to move forward. It really what it does is every week, hopefully what we do is reset our floor. It's not so much about where's our ceiling. Our ceiling is some mystic thing. We don't really know. We know our potential is high. We know that we have an awful lot that we can achieve, but we're resetting our floor week to week, or trying to. And if we take a step back, then we really haven't done that. So we've continued to do that and continued to advance forward. And so this week is really not about what we did Friday night. It's about coming down from that and being intentional about trying to adhere to and continue to advance the ball in terms of the standard that we want to see ourselves perform at. And each week is independent. It has a life of its own, and we're just trying to stay right there.
Jay, so touched on it with the girls that it's a top 2 matchup. Does that carry any importance to you, or is it just kind of business as usual?
I know. Look, everybody wants it to be, and fans love it. It's awesome for fans. It's awesome for that campus. I can remember a few years back we had 1 versus 2 here with us in Florida, and those are great things for your campus and your fan base and excitement. But you know, honestly, and we know where we're going. We know we certainly know who Oklahoma is, and we have the utmost respect for them. And I mean, they are the gold standard, right? They've won 4 of the last 6, and 7 of the last however many. I mean, they're the dynasty, and that's exciting. You come to a place like LSU, hopefully, so you can contend with teams like that, and so we're enjoying it. But at the same time, there's no defense. You guys hear me say that at least once every year. They can't tackle us, and we can't tackle them. It's gonna come down to just each team, doing what they do. And so for us, we have about 10 or 12 things that are within our control, and the rest of it is not. And so we try our best to make sure that our heads stay wrapped around the things that are tangibly within our control, and go and compete hard, and see where things go. It's these meets are fun, but they're all of them, whether it's here in the PMAC or the Sprouts, or all of them are just dress rehearsals. All of them are things that we're hopefully, as I mentioned, setting our floor higher and higher as we prepare for what ultimately will determine, who becomes a champion at some point. But these dual meets really are just all preparation for that. In many ways, they're practice, and so it's an exciting practice coming up. That's about as controversial as I'll get over this. We have so much respect for them, and I'm excited to go. It's the first time we've gone there since they joined the conference. We haven't been there in a long time, and I think since Reagan Corville and Sari Morrison were on the team, which was like 2013 or 14, because Sari Morrison was here in 14, I think was her last year. So I think that was the last time we've been to Norman. So you're talking about 12 years since we've been there. So, and my daughter's there, so I get to see her, and so we're excited about going. We're excited about what it hopefully does for viewership on Friday night for the sport, and we'll compete hard, and then we'll move on to the next one, and we'll have the same conversation next week because Alabama comes here.
Like I gotta throw in, y'all did tie for the SEC regular season title last year. That is a trophy that there is to be won, and to win it again, you probably need to win. So there is something to this.
We're at a
yes.
disadvantage already. We've already got a loss. They don't. So
Yeah, but you could. But if you won out, you could determine your own
Yeah.
destiny. Yeah. I mean, I know that's not the most important thing, but it is something that y'all fought for at this program
Sure.
to get.
Sure, we want to win.
Yeah.
We want to win it. We want to win all the championships. We want to do well, Scott. Promise. This just in. Yeah. I know that's a revolutionary concept that we want to win the championship, but yeah.
Okay, hi, Coach. I wanted to sort of brush on how you mentioned, of course, there are only like 10 or 12 things this team can control. Obviously, gymnastics, not
You
a
don't
defense
want me to
sport.
give you the list, right?
Okay,
No,
well,
yeah,
no, I promise. I'm not
Yeah.
asking for the list.
Yeah.
But it's more as this team continues to fuel one another, each of the girls, they thrive off of each other's energy and each other's hard work. Who are you looking to sort of take the reins this weekend? Not a particular person. It could just be like a large group of girls on this team because there's so much talent there. But who are you looking to lead through Oklahoma this weekend?
I just think it's by committee. I've been listening to them the last couple of weeks as we come out of every meet. You know, they mentioned that our team meeting at the beginning of each training week has a lot of dialogue, and the last two have had a lot of dialogue generated by them in large part, and it's by committee. It's a really good cross section of the entire team. You've got seniors all the way down to freshmen that are contributing to that and helping us stay on message and gaining a great appreciation for one another and the accountability that they are beginning to hold each other to. And that was some of the growth that I had hoped I would see earlier when you guys were asking me, well, what's the identity of this team? And I said, we don't really know yet. And I'm not saying that it's a done deal yet, but I certainly see things moving in a positive direction in the way that they are talking to each other. And I think our culture is healthy right now, and I think we have leadership coming from a pretty large swath of the team as a whole.
I think on Friday you mentioned Courtney's shoulder was just bothering her a little. Anything about her?
It's you know it's not anything that's a diagnosed issue. I think she's got some inflammation in there that is just it's uncomfortable, and it seems to go from day to day. Some days seem worse than others. She looked good in there yesterday when we got back in the gym. So, we just have to monitor it. The docs have looked at it. We don't feel like there's anything structurally going on that we should be fearful of. It's just, this sport is hard, and as you get older, and she is older relative to some of her other teammates, so. Your body's it's just wear and tear. It's just things that we have to deal with. She's not the only one that's dealing with them. And there's, every team in the country has people that are hurting. There's a difference between being hurt and hurting, and she's hurting. So
We're starting to see that Haley Bryant-like consistency with Kaylin, I guess. Just, do you see any similarities between the way they go about their work?
no, none whatsoever.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, it's the consistency is the obvious thing. I mean, you can find some things with their demeanor. Like I don't know. Like the temptation to make that comparison is there, and it was there before that when when Kaya Johnson came in and took off like the way she did, and is she going to be the next Sarah Finnegan? And so we can do historical comparisons in every sport, but ultimately they're vastly different people, which is awesome, and with some very similar outcomes at this stage. But we'll get to the end of Kaylin's career and look back and say, how does that really, and then we can make the comparisons and all those things. But I think she's rightfully so. People want her to be the topic of conversation, but I think she'd be the first to tell you that. And you heard it in some of what one of her teammates said up here. She's relying a lot on her teammates too, and has opened up to that whole we versus me thing in a big way this year that I think is making it so much more enjoyable for her this year.
Amari talks about maybe one of the things that's most important is just controlling the power, harnessing the power. Can you kind of explain that, or what that means?
She's so powerful that she has to make sure that when we get into a competition and the adrenaline's going, that she doesn't allow that to rev her engine up. She has to have kind of a self-imposed governor on her exertion, because if she goes full tilt on vault or something, she'll run out of the building. There has to be measured aggression in terms of, especially on the leg events, for people that are that explosive like Amari is, and there's others. Kalia is that way. I can remember McKenna Kelly was a little bit that way. Just people that have a lot of twitch, that can get up in the air. Sometimes that's just something that they have to be a little more measured.
And she did 3 events Friday. Is that what she normally does? I'm sorry,
She's been doing 3 all season so far. The previous 2 years, she did not get on balance beam, but she's as confident as I've ever seen her on that event. It was always a confidence issue for her on beam, and she always had beautiful beam, but she's finally in a place where she's comfortable and looks really good up there. She'd be able to do bars. I'd love to have her doing bars, but it tweaks her shoulder so bad that we just can't afford to risk that, so we're not even training bars with her right now.
The second half of what I was asking you about the regular season title is, you familiar with soccer very much? Are you much of a soccer fan?
Okay. My kids grew up playing it.
In the Premier League in England, the championship is determined by points over the 38-game season. Mm-hmm. It's not how you determine a championship. It leads up to one meet, and you have to, like John Rothstein said, you raise your hand and you go and you see what you do. So to that end, what does a meet like this mean for that journey towards trying to be your best in April? Like you said, it's important, but certainly not as important as other things. SEC meet as well.
I understand that it's sort of antithetical to downplay wanting to win a regular season meet or game or whatever. It's just the way. It's just one of the nuances of our sport is that we cannot allow ourselves to become hyper. Do we want to win? Of course we want to win. If you're not a competitor if you don't want to win. That's not at all what I'm saying when I go into that. But really, the way this thing works is that all of these come down, as you mentioned, it's the one sport where you could theoretically lose every competition all year long, still qualify because of your score, make it into the postseason, and run the table. Like it's just different that way. And so it's not that we don't want to win or that we're trying to de-emphasize it or anything. We just have to keep it in its proper place because it really doesn't determine a whole lot. Conversely, you could win every meet and not score very well and be a very low seed in the postseason, or something crazy. So it's just it has to be in its place. We want to win every meet, but we're not going to let one win or loss, it's not a defining thing for us at this point. What is defining is, are we progressing? Are we, as I mentioned, raising that floor of where we've been to where we're trying to go? And are we continuing to push that forward in little ways? And as you get better, which we are, you have to work harder it's harder to advance that, because the margins become smaller between where you are and how far you can go. And as those margins narrow, you have to be very, you heard them say intentionally, you have to be very intentional about the kinds of things that you're trying to improve on. And so win or loss, that's how win or lose, that's how I'm going to measure what we do this week, and then again the following week, and again the following week. And it's just, it's not coach speak. It's the absolute truth. It's what I'm saying to you is the exact same thing we're saying when we're in our meeting room, in the privacy of our own home over there.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you about
Sorry, guys, I got sniffles a little bit.
Nina.
No, I'm good. Thank you, Colby. You're so caring. You're a thoughtful dude. Yeah, I knew I was going to get some snark from you today.
I wanted to ask you about Nina Bayou. Seems like she has all the confidence in the world and doesn't even get nervous. Seems like she's excited to get out there. What have you seen from her as a freshman, and can we possibly see her in more events moving forward?
Yeah, it's possible. Every week's different. Her last name's Ballou, but we've sort of adopted this sort of, yeah. Joe Theismann riding with Heisman. Now she's Nina on the Bayou. So Mike Smith took that and ran with it, and so it's got some legs now. Nina has been a tremendous addition. Her energy, whether she does one event or 4 events or no events, her presence is enormous. And I mean enormous. That the energy that she brings, the personality that she brings, it embodies every part of us, because it's joyful and it's intense, and it's just, she's got a nastiness to her competitive drive, but at the same time she loves what she's doing, and that's what's coming out of her face when she does things. It's just, she's an embodiment of the things that we want our program to look like. And I'm proud of her. I'm proud of the way she's handled things. She's such an alpha. She wants to be out there, and but when she's not been able to be in a lineup, she's handled it like a seasoned veteran. She's not complained. She's not had any kind of body language issues or anything. She just keeps going, and she's been tremendous so far for us.
Coach, so Haley was the leader every time you competed against Oklahoma last year. How important is it to have her still being part of the team for this year?
I think for the girls, the girls on the team, it's you wonder how that'll go when you bring somebody into a position of authority when they're only 1 year removed from having been a teammate, and that's a dangerous play in most cases. And had it not been Haley Bryan, I don't know that I would have done it. But I just know that the character of the person is such that, and the level of respect that she garnered from her teammates, I think it's been great for them, because they know she can relate to whatever it is they're feeling. And now when they go to her, she can give them perspective from the coach's side, which helps smooth out some of those things as they come, because they trust her as an athlete, and now they're listening to her give them coaches' perspectives on things, and I think it's reassuring for them. And she's been a good confidant for several of them this year. I see them go in and out of her office, and that's a good thing. It's not something that I'm uncomfortable with at all. I think she because I just trust her, and I know that whatever she's advising them is consistent with everything that she lived and believed as an athlete and bought into, that we shared during her time as an athlete. So I think it's been a wonderful complementary addition to our staff, and in many ways bridges the gap between the old guy who's in charge and the young people that sometimes I'm not always speaking their language, you know, and she's able to do that, and I think it's a good thing.
Hey, you just talking about energy and so forth. I was curious, what's it like to be a coach on campus this time of year? You saw the women's basketball game the night after your event when baseball's starting up and everything. Are you kind of in your own world, or?
I mean, we are. I think we probably all are to some extent, but I'm certainly aware of what baseball is doing and what women's basketball is doing, and softball's going now, and you know, we're all aware, I think, of what's going on, but at the same time, we're kind of tied up. So yeah, I got a chance to watch a little bit of the game the other night, and got to stop by one of the baseball games over the weekend for just a minute, you know, but certainly pulling for everybody. This place is different, you know, it's just different. There's not, you know, it's not, I know that seems to be the catchphrase now, but it always really has been. I mean, I've been hearing that since I got here, and there's not many places where you got 4 or 5 teams at the same time in the spring that are in the top 5 or 10 in the country, and that's happened on a regular basis around here. That's not abnormal. In many ways, it's kind of scary because we create a level of expectation around here that if on the first one of us that doesn't meet it, feels like they're on the hot seat no matter what. So, but that comes with the territory. We are blessed to be here in this environment where you know, we have resource, we have great people, we have an amazing culture that pervades the entirety of this town, and there's not a better place in America to be doing what we're doing, all of us, whether it's us, baseball, or anybody else. This is it, and you want to do great things in your collegiate career, here's my recruiting pitch. Come to Baton Rouge to see what we're all about.